Hello. Hi everyone. Welcome to Selenium Python training program. Today we are going to study a new scenario which is multiple window handling. Okay. So using a WebDriver program, how can you handle a multiple window? First of all, we should know what exactly a multiple window is. Generally, whenever we are performing some operation on a browser, if we click on something, a new window will be opened. Okay, a new window will be opened. If required, we can work on that, or we will close that window, right? If it is required, we can work on that. We can close that particular window. As we will be performing that operation manually, we know how to switch to the new window and how can we perform that operation. But when we are getting such activity using an automation program, then my tool should know how to switch to a window and how can we perform operations on a window. Another simple example is, see, I have opened a multiple Word documents. See here, I have a three Word documents. One is a class, another is a document 2, document 3. Whichever the document I want to perform an operation, I need to select it first, then only I can perform the operation. The similar way, when you are performing operation on a window, if new windows got opened in a browser, then explicitly you need to inform to your WebDriver that switch your control to that window and perform operations on that window. Like that, you have to give inputs to your WebDriver, then only it can perform operations on that. Good enough. In order to achieve this one, I'm using a Salesforce application. Okay, so let me list down the steps. First of all, let me walk you through those steps so that you people can understand that. So, sorry, I'm opening login.salesforce.com. I have a user ID and password. Directly, I'm logging into my application. And once after I logged into my application, on the top right corner, I can find a create and I'm using a user. So I'm navigating to a create a user screen. So this is what my create a user screen is. And in the create a user screen, here we have a magnifying icon. See, I'm just highlighting that. So we have a magnifying icon. Whenever I click on that icon, a new window got opened. Now we need to switch to the new window. In the search field, I need to enter Surendra and I need to click on a search button. This is what my requirement is. This is what exactly the scenario I want to do. Let me list down the manual steps. So the first step out over here is log into Salesforce application, click on a create, select a user, which is first option from the list, and then in the user creation window, select magnifying icon, which opens a new window in which, okay, which opens up a new window in which enter a value to the search field, click on search button. So these are all the steps which I have to do. Okay, these are all the steps which I have to do now. Okay, good enough. Let me create a new script and let's do all these steps one after another. So let me close all the existing scripts, copy the existing program and create a program and name it as a 26. Okay, and in this, whichever the unnecessary commands are there, delete it. I don't want all these things. I just want a browser open and then a maximize window and a terminating a browser. And from this URL, my desired application URL is login.salesforce.com. I'm copying that and I'm specifying that URL within my program. Login.salesforce.com. I have specified my URL. And after that, we need to enter the username and a password. See, let me log out from this app. Okay. So this one, in order to log in into an application, we need to enter username, password, click on login button. So these are the three actions which I have to do. So identify uname, password, login button properties, and perform operation on that. Okay, perform operation on that. So on this login page, right click on a username, inspect, and I noticed that username is having an ID property. Copy it, go back to your program, driver dot find element by ID dot send the keys. So copy the username from a browser. I'm just copying it from a browser and I am pasting it here. The similar way we need to enter the password. I just copied the line and I pasted it again, and let me see the property for the password. See here, the password is also having an ID property, and I'm updating here, and I am entering my password. Guys, even if you try with my credentials, it won't work. I'll tell you why it's not going to work. Okay, so I entered a password. If you want to practice this scenario, you have to create your own account. My test account, it won't work for you. It will trigger a verification code. I will show you what code it will be triggering. And finally, driver dot find element by ID dot click. That's it. So these are three lines, will be entering the username, password, and click on a login button. So I am adding my comments below three lines. Will enter uname, password, click on login button. See, upon clicking on a login button, it will take some time to load the page. So the thing what I am doing is time dot asleep. I'm giving 35 seconds. There is a reason for giving 35 seconds here, which we will study moving further. But for now, let's give it as a 35 and let's move further. Okay, so once after we enter these credentials and wait for some time, the screen is populating, and in this particular screen, I need to click on a create menu. See, this is the one. Right click, inspect, and what I noticed is the title it is having a create menu, and the tag name is a. Let me write down an XPath slash slash a open braces at the rate title is equal to create menu one of one. Copy the XPath, go back to the program, driver dot find element by XPath dot click. Okay, I just performed a click operation on that. As soon as we performed a click operation on this options are populating. Right click on a user, inspect user, and my user is having this text. Okay, slash slash span open braces at the rate class is equal to. See here, there are eight different objects with that particular text. Okay, there are eight different objects. So one is a setup, and the second one is where is our desired object? See, see here, not only the span, and when we expand the span, it has another span custom objects. So I can directly give this class name. So okay, I have given a wrong class name. I updated my class name, and there are six objects, six different objects getting displayed with this XPath. And the first object is a XPath, and the second, third, fourth, five, six, like that different objects are coming. So guys, if you remember the previous example, if there are multiple objects with the same XPath, we can identify the index and we can give that index, right? So select a user, which is the first option. In order to do so, we can use the previous scenario where we discussed two options to handle in mouse over to perform a click operation on a multiple objects. And what I'm doing right now means, as this is the first object, hence I'm not using anything else directly. I'm giving that a XPath and asking my WebDriver to click on it. So what it will happen when we do so, usually WebDriver will click on first object. If there are multiple objects, with the same property. Okay, if there are a multiple objects with the same property, your WebDriver will try to click on a first object. I know my desired object is a first object, hence I am not giving anything. So I can go to my program here, driver dot find element by XPath, and I can use a directly click. Either I can use this click, or the other way I can handle here is I can use a find elements, capture all the info, use a for loop, and print all the text, and click on desired object as discussed in demo 25 example. In this example we have a created, see, in a for loop we are trying to click. You can use that option, or the another option is you can also use demo 24 example option, which is identify the count first and write customized XPath, which is XPath and the count here. You can use this one. Either of these three options you can use here. Among all those options, I'm choosing a different one, which is I'm not selecting anything and I'm clicking on an OK button now. Okay, so directly, as soon as you clicked on a create user, it will take a few seconds to load the user creation screen. Hence, I'm using a time dot sleep after this command, and I'm giving 8 seconds. Wait for 8 seconds. And in this page, before jumping on and clicking on that magnifying icon, let me enter my first name. Right click, inspect, and see it has a ID name, first name. Go back here, driver dot find element by ID dot send keys, Surendra first name. And whenever you are working with a Salesforce application, okay, whenever we are working with a Salesforce application, every page has a frame. Before execution, let us cross-check this HTML content once to see whether the desired object is in frame or not. If it is in a frame, we can ask it to switch to the frame, right? So here in the HTML, I'm just scrolling up. See, this is in a table body. Okay, it is inside a table, it's inside a script, and it's inside a form. And above, there is a separate HTML. So if you scroll up, it is inside a iframe. See, whenever you mouse over on that, this particular piece is highlighting. So I sense it that this is a frame then. So the frame is having a title property. Copy the title property, slash slash iframe, open braces at the rate title equal to specify the title property. And guys, one thumb rule which you need to remember is, if an object is having, see, this object is having a name property, but it has a dynamic value. So whenever an object is having some values in that, don't prefer that particular property. Don't prefer that property at all. So that's the reason I'm just using this one as my frame. So copy this one, go back here. Before entering the first name, driver dot find element by XPath, and this is what my frame one equal to.